Hello, my little goblins. Welcome back. And I just want to say, have you ever just hated playing against MAXX? You ever just load up Master Duel and say, I really wish the MAXX didn't exist? Well, let's talk about the deck we're playing today. Today we are playing, it looks like a big pile, but you might see this on the ladder. It is a Grass is Greener deck that abuses Necroface and Fairy Tale Snow and the Ishizu cards to mill out your opponent. And what's the great thing about milling out? Well, we special summon like 1,000 times with this deck, and anytime your opponent MAXXs, they're just helping you with your game plan. So if you're ever worried about, oh no, my opponent MAXX'd, that's actually a good thing. We actually hope our opponent MAXXs. We're going to go into some games. You guys are going to see how the deck performs. We're going to show 6 games today, and we might speed through a few of them near the end just to because you guys will have more of an understanding how the deck's played. But in the first beginning games, we're going to have them slowed down so you guys can see how the deck plays. But yeah, this deck, a lot of fun. And then we're in the post game. In the recap, we will talk about any changes that we'd make to the deck or cards that maybe you guys won't need in the deck. All right, let's get to it. Hello, we're here with game number 1, and we're playing against Tempest. Our hand is pretty goated because if you have Ash, we can just double grass. Kind of, you're not really going to see hands like that too often, but opening grass is not very rare because we do run 3 left arm offerings, which does increase the chance we get to see. As you can see, we already have 31 cards in the graveyard. Eva is going to allow us to grab this Herald, which is actually really good with Mudara. So if he has something to like mess with us, you can actually mess with him. Necroface, Thunder Dragon Dark, Giant Rex. All these cards are... This is why the deck works so well. With Fairy Tale Snow, you just banish all these cards to get extra effects. Also get an extra effect from Shinobi Necro. Like, there's a lot of effects we got it. And look, our opponent already has 15 cards in his deck. I kind of feel bad because he is playing Cubic. And just so you know, these games take place between Duelist level 16 to 19. Okay? We're going to go into Duragus. Durgurus? I don't even know how to pronounce this. I usually call it number 60. So, this is... I also do want to point out, this is how, this is a combo play here. So, this is one of our special spicy cards that some people don't use, but we use. This lets the deck FTK. So you run Doomsday Horror. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, return all banished dark monsters to the graveyards. So all these Necro faces, we can return them back to the graveyard so we can rebanish them. So we're going to bring back Shinobi Necro. We're going to go into Baron de Fleur. Baron de Fleur lets us pop it. Boom. And now, boom, 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 boom. All these cards are returned. IP Masquerena. And now we can activate Snow. And it doesn't even matter what our opponent does. We banished all these Necro faces. And boom. Boom goes the Dynamite. Our opponent is going to have no way of playing through this. And goodbye, Tempest. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's how the deck's played. I'll see if there's any... I think it went by a little quick, so maybe in the next game we'll talk about it in a little more depth. Hello, my little goblins. We're here at game number 2, and this is a more realistic hand. Like, we open up Left Arm Offering. We got Herald. Dimension Shifter really butt-fucks us, so we're definitely going to Herald that. Because a lot of these cards, they need to hit the graveyard before their effect to work. Like, they need to be banished from the graveyard. Like, it wouldn't be the end of the world because our Thunder Dragon cards will still be fine, but definitely would rather not dealing with that. He goes into Caspital, gets a Sophia, activates Sophia's effect, adds Elis. Elis goes out. Boom. He's going to search. He's just going to banish for the sake of banishing. He gets Returnia, which is another other banish card, Magnifica. Boom, and then sets 2. Alright, now it's our turn. So, our hand, we're going to normal summon Shinobi Necro, because there is a chance we could use our normal summon, but it's like kind of low, because we have to hit, if we hit Eva off the top, we could banish like the Herald, and then we could add Diviner to hand. So I think it's safer just to get Necro on field so we can actually have something. So we do hit Eva, so it would have been nice to be able to do that, but it's not too bad because we're going to have a Herald in hand, which is going to be kind of nice. Alright, we hit Perform a Trick Clown. This is a 1-of in the deck. Lets you go into Immortal Dragon. Honestly, the Immortal Dragon, the whole purpose of this card being in the deck, it sends Necroface to the graveyard. But I actually think we hit all our Necrofaces. So it actually, I'm just trying to bait out his banishes like at this point, because he has a lot of banishes. So cool interaction for people who are newer to the game. Exo Sister Returnia, since it's targeting, it could hit a card on the field or in the graveyard. Since it's targeting Snow in the graveyard, when Snow leaves graveyard, it actually will fizzle the spell, even though this card can hit both. I thought that was kind of interesting, so kind of want to share the wealth there. So we can chain Snow. He's gonna banish. We're actually gonna Herald. This is actually a bad Herald. So in retrospect, what we should have done is held Herald because it actually does nothing to Magnifica. We could have used Herald to stop Michaelis. So now he has an extra banish against us. But even with us misplaying, it's still not going to matter. So we're going to hit Necroface, Necroface, Necroface. So he's triple Necroface. He's at 10 cards now. And we get a Thunder Dragon Dark, which lets us search Hawk most likely, unless we banished it. I just want, look at this. We're at Chainlink 7 on our own shit. Chainlink 8. Isn't that amazing? Look at all these activated effects. It's delicious. So he banishes our Snow, which is really unfortunate because we only run 1. We got Necro. We were gonna summon Dark. We add that. Necroface. Boom. We must have already gotten rid of Dragonhawk. That's the only thing that makes sense. Giant Rex comes out. We go into Chen Ying here. Chen Ying. So this is another thing about the deck. You can win with Chen Ying because how big this card gets. Because look how many cards we have banished. Like we can just go into this and just nuke our opponent. So we're gonna banish this, activate its effect. He's actually going to Ghost Ogre and then Chain Imperm, which you might be thinking, oh, you're fucked then. You lose. It's really not the end of the world. You have 9 cards in the deck to his 10. We can still go into Chaos Ruler, and we still have a lot of plays to go through. Like, I'm talking about, like, we still have a lot of stuff to do. And he just concedes. He doesn't want to see anymore. Whatever. GG. That's you're going to get some people who just don't want to see you combo anymore because you're spending 6 minutes playing the game. Hello, we're here with game number 3 of playing. It's the White Nerd. Couldn't be me. Too much of a Chad. He's playing Sprite. Going second against Sprite, honestly, not very good for us. All our opponent really has to do is keep Carrot and Red on the field, and we probably lose. Even if we draw Herald, because then we can't really get Grass off. We would have to bait, and then yeah, it'd be really annoying. But he's also going to Herald a Pure Light. This is actually really funny. So he adds Pack MAXX, and in my mind, and actually on stream, we're laughing because we're like, oh yeah, this is perfect. He added MAXX. He's helping us out. Because remember, our deck, we want to mill our opponent. So this is where our opponent messes up. In hindsight, his play wasn't bad, but like, this is just arguably worse. Because like, if I have a Kaiju, you're fucked. Like, this is just arguably a much worse play. Like, if you can't, you should always keep Red and Carrot out. The only time I would argue that you shouldn't is maybe if you're able to get IP with at least having a Carrot or Red out. That's about it. Because you need some type of protection. Because now, look, I get priority. So now I can just Grass is greener. And then our opponent summons Carrot, which again, it's another misplay because if you play against a Grass deck, most of the cards in a grass deck are monsters. Like, I don't really have that many spells. I have like a handful of spells. All my spells are like literally to like play grass. So in this type of deck, you definitely want to be summoning red here. I don't think it's going to matter too much, but it's still like a misplay on his part. So he's going to play MAXX. Grass is greener happens, and you guys already know, like, we're just going to pop off. Eva happens, boom. Honestly, I also want to preface this. This was just a little bit of misplay on the clicking on what to do next. But you always want to chain link Eva last, unless you're afraid of a MAXX. But like, you'd rather, I mean Ashe, but I'd rather them Ashe like Eva anyway. But the reason why is because you could kind of, if you get really unlucky, you could mill all the cards that Eva can get out of your deck, which should be really unlucky. But we end up adding Diviner. Then we mill again. We're gonna activate Dance. We add Zeoman. And then we're gonna, so we do this. We add these cards back to our deck, right? Because we need them to for Zeoman to actually work. So we're gonna do that. He has Imperm anyway. Not the end of the world. Even if we summon Diviner, he was gonna Imperm whatever we summon. So it's all good. Fairy Tale Snow, and don't get me wrong, we could have 100% dodged Imperm if we Fairy Tale Snowed, got rid of Zeoman. I just didn't feel the need to do that, to be completely honest. We're gonna hit him with that double Necro face into Shinobi Necro, into the Thunder Dragon Dark, into the Thunder Dragon Roar. You know, just standard plays. Standard plays. We put Thunder Dragon Roar last because we actually don't mind if we got MAXX'd. Like, if he MAXX's us, I'd rather him just MAXX something like that that's pointless than something good. Because Thunder Dragon Dark, I'd rather activate that to special summon a Thunder Dragon anyway. So we're gonna activate our last Necro face. It's already over for him. He's at 4 cards in his deck. Like, it's already GG. We just go into Baron. He's gonna activate his negate. I mean his banish. We're gonna have to negate this, and then he chains IP, which is obviously gonna go into Underworld Goddess. But it's already too late. Look at all these cards. Like, I can special summon 3 times. I can special summon another like 10 times, easy. Like, no question asked. So you go into Great Creator. So the reason, oh, by the way, this card's awesome. Chaos Creator lets you get another Necroface onto the board, and then you can put it back in the graveyard. So that's another way of getting another Necroface. And then you just link it off, IP Masquerena. Honestly, and we just activate. He's gonna activate that, and then we just chain it. Once we normal summon, he just loses to MAXX. GG, goodbye. Goodbye. Alrighty, we're here with game number 4 against, I'm not even going to pronounce that because I can't read. We are playing, so this is a good game to showcase. I wanted to showcase this game because he's playing 55 cards. He's playing a 55 card zombie mill deck with Ishizu and stuff. So, actually, I don't think he's playing Ishizu. I think he's playing grass. But this is a very good way of showing, like, this deck doesn't just have to win off of one thing. Oh, he is playing Ishizu. Never mind. I think he's just playing the milling cards. I don't think he's playing like the Numeron and shit. But he's gonna summon his cards. I'm gonna just normal summon Necroface. And then we're going to normal summon, summon the creator. Dragonhawk. Here's the IP Masquerena. Beautiful. Now we can start Necrofacing. And like, I'm not even really expecting, so this is a crazy play, because I have like no cards in the graveyard really, because like I said, I didn't play grass. So he tries to steal my card with Jack Boleyn, and I really don't have an answer besides activating Snow again, so I had to activate Snow a second time. So I have like nothing in the graveyard. Just pointing that out. So Necroface activates, Giant Rex activates. And then I could Snow shut his little pumpkin guy down. And now I think I'm okay. Remember, I'm under MAXX too right now. It's kind of annoying. But Necroface and Dragon Roar is going to activate. Bump. Like, let's just say we're not trying to win by decking him out. Remember our other win con that I was telling you guys about when we get enough banish cards? Remember what I told you guys about that? Oh, dude, it's so much banishing. It's so juicy. It's so juicy. Just speed it up a little. So he sets Exchange of the Spirit. That's fine. Can't activate it, so... You go into Chen Yang. Chen Yang's a big boy. We're gonna get a banish. Necroface banish, and we can activate Chen Yang. Banish, hit their back row, hit a card in the graveyard. Boom, banish another 5 cards. And then boom, 8200, Slapperoo, he's dead. So, this deck can win with other ways. I just want to say, most of the time you do mill out your opponent, but you're not completely dead if you're playing against another 60 card deck. Like, it is more annoying because the game plan definitely shifts. But remember, this is still like a grass stack with a lot of combo potential because of Snap. Hello, we're here with game number 5, and we are playing against, I don't even know, but we're comboing. I'm just trying to bait out Ash at this moment. I just normal summon Zayaman. Like, okay, well, he's not activating anything to anything, so you're just gonna activate grass now. Safe to activate. Now, if your opponent held this long against all those plays you were doing, they're definitely looking at your screen too, because I was streaming. So, they're definitely like, checking my screen, because there's no way you hold that long. Okay, so we add Herald and Diviner. I probably should just activate Teleport, but Teleport actually does come into use right here. You're going to see. Chaos Ruler activates, and Darno activates to grab another 8. And what are we playing against? Oh, we're playing against a stun deck. We're playing against Runic Stun. Ooh. Don't you guys want to see these people suffer? I do, personally. We had Destrudo, but it's because the other card we want in the graveyard too. So now we summon Zayaman. This is actually good because we can make a rank 4 off of this. So now we just go into Psychic again, Punisher, clean up board space. Go into Duragus. Summon Chaos Ruler again. Necroface. Boom. Everything's just showing up peachy right now. Activate Zombie. Oh, dude, this deck is so much fun, dude. This deck is a blast to play. I'm going to tell you that right now. Double Necroface. Like, if you're bored right now, if you're like, oh my god, I hate playing against MAXX and stuff. Dude, this deck is so funny to play against. Look at, he's playing Runic Stun. Like, what a cringe lord, right? I mean, he deserves this to happen to him, right? So here the only play I really had is I needed to go into Diviner. I have a Diviner in the graveyard, so we go into Sprite Elf. Sprite Elf brings back Diviner of the Herald. And then since we have no cards in our deck, we're shuffling back some rank 4s. Because we need this to increase to a level 6. So this plus this equals Baron. So we're going to Baron Defleur. Baron Defleur is going to Defleur that to the graveyard. And then that's going to return all our darks. And then Snow is going to mill 15. Pretty brutal. And then I'm like, okay, your turn. Your turn, buddy. Oh, why'd you lose? Huh? You're so used to... Oh, he actually surrendered before he lost. What a crybaby. I don't even care, dude. You're playing Runic. You're playing Runic Stun. Like, I really have no sympathy for it, you know? Alright, we're here with the 6th and final game playing against Numeron. This guy actually, he messed me up because I thought he made me go first. And I thought he was Numeron, but he's actually not playing Numeron, which is kind of funny. He's playing Sword Soul, like a going second Sword Soul deck. Which I thought was hilarious. I was like, why did he say his Numeron? Really messing with me. So he's gonna max see me. Big mistake. You guys already know how that is. But yeah, I have no sympathy for like playing against like this cringe. I do feel bad when I do play against like a fringe deck like that cubic player. I felt kind of bad about. Not his fault. So we're gonna activate Grass is Greener, and yeah, things. It's just standard. Like, just look how fast this guy loses. I also want to mind you, the biggest weak point of this deck. I'm gonna tell you right now, the biggest weak point of this deck is how, like, there's so many lines of plays to do because you're seeing so many cards that like you have to play quick. The timer is gonna get you. That is the biggest weak point of this deck. Alright, so we get Giant Rex. Ugh. Dude, there's so many chains happening too. Like, this is why it's such a problem. Like, he's already out of cards. And then we just go Psychic End Punisher, he draws and loses the game. GG. Let's get into the recap and figure out how the deck did. Hello, my little goblins. We're here at the recap, and thank you for watching this far. If you guys are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit that button. Just do it. Just please do it. Also, come visit me on Twitch. My Twitch link is down below as well. I do stream on there 3 days a week. We have tournaments. We're trying to do them every Friday, but this Friday we're having a pretty cool tournament too, where you can see information on that tournament. Down below is our Discord, so if you want to join that too, that'd be awesome. I know it sounds like a big ask, but it's really not that difficult to do, so it is what it is. Yeah, so let's talk about how the deck did. This deck performed very, very well. Like, we had a lot. First of all, we had a lot of fun with it. And we climbed from rank 15. I didn't touch the account for a while, so we're at rank 15, and we climbed to rank 19. We did drop a rank. We did drop to 18, but that's because 3 games in a row, my hands were like I'm not even kidding you. My hands were like Necroface, Doomsday Horror, Perform a Trick Clown, Necro Shield. Shit. I literally had like all my garnets in my hand for like 3 games in a row. So we didn't rank because of that. But we were on a win streak. I didn't quite hit rank 19 again. I just stopped playing because I needed to make the video. But yeah, we still had a very good win rate. I'd probably, if I had to guess, it was probably around like, it's probably like 65-70%, which is like pretty good when you're climbing in a thing where people are trying to win. We're playing against top tier decks over and over and over. We lost to a few stuns. Like, the times we lost are like if we opened up really bad, and the other times we lost is if our opponent opened up really good and they started the game. Like, I lost a few games of Runic Stun because we can't play underneath, like, they play Skill Drain, or they play There Can Only Be One with Rivalry of the Warlords. Like, I can't play underneath that, really. It's very difficult. So those are like the games we lost. So the games we lost were against top tier decks, and those top tier decks were like, it was like semi close still, unless the games where I drew horribly, because those games weren't close. I just conceded immediately because my opponent was setting up a board and I had like literally nothing. Like I think one game I lost, I played Giant Rex Pass. Like, it was that's how bad my hand was. So yeah, it happens. It happens sometimes with decks like these. I will say this. I'm gonna tell you this. What I would fix in this deck. Okay, well, first of all, if you don't have card destruction, you don't have to play it. I do think the card was really good though, because when you open up those bad hands, like that hand I was telling you about that was like bad, card destruction would have made that hand pretty good. I would have just had all my garnets in the graveyard, like all my really good cards in the graveyard. Other than that, I would say if you have multiple Fairy Tale Snow, I would probably get at least 2 to 3. This card is the key component of your deck. Every game I won was almost solely because of how powerful this card is and how versatile. Like, this card literally does everything for you, right? You activate it, it banishes all the cards you want to get banished because you want to banish certain things. and then you get a body in the field that you can link away into one of these, like Curious, Sprite Elf, IP Masquerena, Yugioh. You get to go into one of these cards, and then you bring it back again by banishing more cards that you want to get rid of. So it's a really, really crazy good card. So yeah, if you could get more snows, I just didn't have the material or anything to craft 3 snows. But this deck, ideally, you want to be playing 3. Topologic Zero Boros is another card that you might want to play. So if I would get rid of Access Code Talker, and I would put in this card. I just didn't have it, don't have the material, so I didn't bother crafting it. Other than that, I think the list is actually really good. I think the list was really solid. I do like the extra spice of having this Doomsday Horror that you might not think about, but you can kind of semi-consistently do this. Like, if it goes to the graveyard from any of the mills that we do, all you really have to do, like, okay, even pretend this card gets banished, right? There's still a play where you can summon Chaos Creator and then save it, special summon it from the banish, and then Chaos Creator plus a level 2 like Herald or like a Baron de Fleur, pop it, and then you have all your Necrophases again. Because if you're able to Necroface your opponent 6 times, that's 30 cards you banish. Like, there is not many decks out there that's surviving that. I think if you're able to legit do it 6 times, I think you almost like banish out like 60 card decks. Like, if you could, because if you consider, like, if they're playing 60 cards, they're also probably playing Kelbeck, and they're probably also playing Yugioh, right? So they're also milling 10 cards from their deck, and then you're milling 10 cards from their deck. So the 55 cards ends up becoming 35 cards, and then 30 cards from Necroface by itself. I don't know. It's pretty close. And then you can mill another 4 cards off of Vampire, Zombie Vampire. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy in my opinion. I don't know. You get pretty close, I think. And if they have MAXX, you actually can just mill them out completely. Like, think about it. You can mill out a 60 card deck. That's insane. Tier 1 to 10 first. We're gonna do 1 to 10 power level. And on a 1 to 10 power level, I'm actually gonna give this deck a solid. If you do the changes I told you to do, even at this current iteration of the deck, I still think it's like an 8.5. If you do the changes, I think it gets bumped up to a 9. Like, it's a very powerful deck. This is like the new, I would say this is like the new Dragon Link. Except that setting up a board, you're just ruining your opponent's day. And second of all, on a tier list, I'm gonna say this is like tier 2. Like, I feel like this is a solid like tier 2, maybe even pushing up to the 1.5. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't imagine this is a tier 1, but maybe it is tier 1. I don't know. I feel like it's too random for it to be tier. Like, I feel when I think of a tier 1 deck, I'm thinking it's like, okay, tier 1 deck, they do the same thing every game. Very, very, very consistent. I think this is really consistent, even though it doesn't seem like it. Even though it looks very chaotic, I feel like it was very consistent. So I don't know. It is at bare minimum tier 2, though. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's very powerful. If you could afford it, I would craft it, have a blast. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Also, the MAXX, I don't know how needed these cards are. I don't know. We're playing a 60 card deck. I don't know how needed this is. Call by the Grave is a good card, so I would keep that. But MAXX, I don't know. Maybe take it out. I mean, you could replace 2 of the MAXXs with 2 snows. And then you replace one more MAXX with... Replace another MAXX. So the last MAXX, maybe Chaos Space. Because I tried playing Chaos Space in the beginning, and that would be actually not too bad. Or you can start playing the white and black dragons. I don't know. Something like that. There's a lot of iterations that you can do with this deck. But a lot of fun. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you guys want to play something fun, this is a very fun deck to play. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys want to see next. And until next time, goodbye.